you. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. So let's offer our prayers to our Guru Parampara, then to the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshunmilitam
Hare Krishna. Are you
Hare
all able
Krishna,
to hear
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji?
Not able to hear, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah,
I think
it's not loud and clear. Too.
Something net issue. I
It was
think.
disconnected. Okay, I thought my connection was good. Okay, so let's wait.
is it possible for someone to call Prabhuji? Because last time what happened, Prabhuji was talking and he was
We
not
did not
realizing
realize.
that he's a frozen, right? It happened once.
Let me disconnect him.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me now?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hello, Hare
Yes,
Now we can hear.
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
sorry,
we
I was,
can hear.
my Wi-Fi cut off, Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam tam sajivam sadvaitam savadhutam parijana sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Pri Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sarubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha. O most magnificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself, appearing as Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden complexion of Srimati Radharani, and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangopangostrapashadam Yagnahi Sankirtana Praye Yajanti Sumedasa. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. His complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Nana Sastra Vicharne Kanipunau Shad Dharma Samstapakau Lokanam Hitakarinau Tribhuane Manyau Sharanya Karau Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Anandena Mattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Sri Jiva Gopalako. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizing and studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the 3 worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Shri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narom Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. Welcome back, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All good Shri Prabhupada. So, we have been discussing Sri Nama Tattva. So we already covered the introductory chapter. So these are lesson 31, 32, and 33. 31 and 32 we already covered. And that is the Shuddhanam Tattva and 10 Nama Aparadas that Mataji just sang the original verses from Padma Purana, Brahmanda Khanda. And now today we will talk about the Nama Abhasa. But before I begin, let's have a recap. Let's hear the recap of those 10 offenses. They are very, very important. Every Vaishnava who is chanting the holy name must be very, very vigilant and guarding against committing those 10 aparadas. Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, in the last class, we did lesson 32, which comprises the 4th theme of Nama Tattva, which is Nama Aparadha, wherein Raghunath Das Babaji gives a very detailed explanation of all the 10 offenses of towards the holy name. So, Vijay Kumar asks him to explain about the Nama Aparadhas, where Babaji answers him about what is pure chanting of the holy name. So it is possible that when a person starts chanting, he might be committing offenses. But even in that case, he should continue chanting, because gradually while chanting, his offenses will decrease, and over a period of time, he will be chanting offenselessly. This is mentioned in Padma Purana. So an intelligent person should be very vigilant towards avoiding the offenses. And a person who is displaying ecstatic symptoms or maybe shedding tears, such a person also may be committing offenses towards the holy name. So idea is to try to avoid these offenses. Now, the potency of the holy name is extremely great. Once it penetrates into a person's mind or enters his ears, it can deliver him from the material bondage, even though if it is not been grammatically correct, or maybe it is not properly joined or vibrated in separate parts. But a person who is trying to do it for the benefit of material body or gaining material wealth or followers, or due to greed or atheism, then it is considered to be an offense. Then it becomes a nama prada. So hence one should diligently avoid offenses in while chanting the holy name. So next, Babaji recites or lists the 10 offenses of the holy name which are described in Padma Purana, which Raksha Mataji kindly did today along with the translation. So let us go into the detail of these 10 offenses. The first offense is to blaspheme the Vaishnavas, the great Vaishnavas who have renounced everything and have taken complete shelter of the holy name. So why should be this should be avoided? Because the holy name will never be merciful to such a person who is blaspheming his devotees or who are attached to the holy name. Hence, we will never get the mercy of the holy name. Hence, this offense should be never executed. Then the second offense is to consider the names of Lord Shiva and other demigods to be equal or to be equal to the names of Lord Vishnu. Now, the idea that the Supreme Personality, that if Lord Shiva is also Supreme Controller and independent, and Lord Vishnu is also Supreme Controller and independent, then it leads to the thinking, thinking that of a Bahi Ishwaravada, that more than one God. So this philosophy is it leads to. But the truth is that Lord Shiva and other demigods, they don't have their independent power. They get it from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Lord Vishnu is the expansion of Lord Krishna himself. Then the demigods, including Lord Shiva, their form, names, these are not transcendental. Wherein the Lord Vishnu's name, form, attributes, and pastimes, these are completely transcendental and are non-different from him. So, and also Lord Krishna's 4 unique qualities of sweetness, which is Venu Madhurya, Rupa Madhurya, etc. They are specifically only with Lord Krishna only. So, if a person has this understanding, then he gets the realization and he will not commit such an offense. Now the third is Guru Ravagya. The Guru has been extremely merciful to bless a person with the holy name. Hence, disregarding Guru is also a Nama Aparadha. The fourth is to blaspheme the scriptures. Now, all the scriptures are glorifying the holy names. And if the scriptures are also blasphemed, then it leads to blasphemy of the holy name itself. Hence, that is also a Nama Aparadha. Now, the other aparadha is to give wrong interpretation to the understanding of the holy name and thinking that the holy name that is described in Shruti and Smriti or the Puranas, it's just an exaggeration. In Jaimini Samhita, it has been stated that such a person who thinks that holy name is an exaggeration or the benefits of holy name is an exaggeration will always live in hell. In Vishnu Dharma Purana, it says that anyone who chants the holy name immediately gets rid of all the resultant actions of sinful activities of many, many births. And in Brihad Vishnu Purana, it said that if a person who chants the holy name of Krishna can at once counteract the resultant action of more sinful activities, then he is able to commit. So, holy name is so powerful. So, after knowing all these benefits, if these benefits are to be taken as an exaggeration, then Brahma Samhita states that Lord says that I will, such a person is bound to suffering and torture in many horrible ways. Then in Naradiya Purana, it is said that chanting of Lord Hari's holy name is the only way to become free from sins, and there is no other way. So, if a academic scholar just trying to protect his livelihood because he is preaching impersonal Brahman, he says that it is an exaggeration, then such a person will never get attracted to the holy name, and devotees are advised to stay away from such asat sangha. Then the sixth Nama Aparadha is to consider the holy name as an imaginary. So the impersonal philosophers, they think that the names of Rama and Krishna are being invented by the sages. But the truth is, the holy name will only manifest on a spiritual senses that are engaged in devotional service. And it should be learned from a bona fide spiritual master and bona fide scriptures. And one should understand that the holy name is real, it is spiritual, and it is eternal. And again, to consider it imaginary, it is an aparadha. The seventh nama aparadha is to commit sinful actions on the strength of holy name. So normally a person tries to, like an elephant, he takes a bath and then again goes and rolls into a pool of mud. The only antidote to prevent sinful reactions is to feel remorseful and to seek mercy from Lord to give him the strength so that he can not commit sins. So this was the seventh offense. Then Vijay Kumar has questions Raghunathas Babaji that since any sin can be survived by the chanting of holy name, why doesn't the holy name neutralize any sin that is committed on his strength? Why it is considered as an offense on the first place? So Babaji says that a person who does pure chanting will never even dream of committing sins. And if still he is committing sins on the after chanting the holy name, then it is just a nama bhasa. And it is not pure chanting, it is a nama bhasa. So due to a person's remnants of past habits, he may be committing such sins, but the nama bhasa will protect him. But he should not deliberately do it on the strength of holy name. If he is doing that on the strength of holy name, then it is clearly a cheating, and it will be taken as an offense. And the eighth offense is to take the rituals and the pious material activities of varnashrama that are listed to be equal and comparable to Lord's holy name. These cannot be so because these are all material activities, and the chanting of the holy name is an all spiritual activity. And in Vaidhi, we perform Vaidhi Bhakti to attain Krishna Prem. So considering a material pious activity, which is temporary, to be equal to a spiritual activity is definitely an aparadha. Then we come to the ninth offense, which is preaching or instructing an unqualified faithless person. In that it was clear that only an Uttama Adhikari is empowered to preach in general mass of people, to the general mass of people, and because he alone has the potency and the faith that he can instruct people who are devoid of faith to chant Hare Krishna. But an intermediate Madhyama Adhikari should only preach to people who are innocent and they're open-minded and receptive to follow the spiritual process. And then another question of Vijay Kumar was to Babaji that there are certain people who are out of greed for money and fame, they are initiating qualified people into chanting of holy name. So Babaji quickly answers saying that these spiritual masters are offenders. Then we come to the last offense, which is after knowing all the glories of the holy name, if a person is still doesn't have the love and enthusiasm to chant it, and he still clings to the material conception of I and mine, that time Babaji cites the second verse of Shikshashtakam that Mahaprabhu has composed to teach these people, saying, "O my Lord, your holy name alone can render the benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules to chanting them. So out of great kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting the holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them." So hence one should try to have attraction or create an attraction towards these names to benefit one's life. And if a person who vigilantly avoids nama paradhas, these 10 offenses, gradually becomes a Parama Bhakta or a great devotee of Lord. And the last question Vijay Kumar asked to Babaji is that if there is in a gathering, if there are all kinds of people, and should a pure Vaishnav join such a gathering for Nam Sankirtana? So Babaji says that if it includes only faithless and offenders, then it will be considered as an offense. A pure Vaishnava should not join such a gathering. Only if there are pure Vaishnavas, or maybe, or even if there are people who are at the stage of Nama Bhasa, only such people should be joined for chanting. Here we ended lesson 32. Over to you, Prabhuji, for lesson 33. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Very well done, as usual. Let me share my screen. So you all can see my screen, right?
Yes, Prabhu, we are able to see it.
Good.
Black and white, Prabhu. Perfect.
Thank you. I've been trying to do now black and white only in anticipation of publishing this. So welcome back, first of all. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. So what is Nam Abhasa? The word Abhasa it gives the kind of indirect representation of original. Original is not there, but somehow we get an illusion that it is there. It's like illusion means not 100% illusion. It's like the original is there, but it's a reflection is there, okay? Or it's shadow. So that is what we consider as, we think that is original there, but clearly original is not there. So it's an indirect representation of the original, it's a partial illusion, I guess, So there are 3 themes. There are totally 7 themes in this Nama Tattva, 3 chapters in lesson 31, 32, 33. Today we are covering lesson 33, the final lesson on this Nama Tattva. And this Nama Tattva is the 3rd part, third of the 4 parts of Sri Jaiva Dharma. So this is the final three themes, 5, 6, and 7. The 5th themes, first we will hear the clear definition of Nama Abhasa. What I just gave you is a general understanding of that. And the 6th theme, as you can read it yourself, there is an interrelationship. It's just not the illusion of the, illusion is not a correct right word actually, because unless there's original, we cannot see its reflection or its shadow, So when that occurs, there is also an abhasa, such a partial representation or indirect representation of bhakti itself, because they are all interrelated. Bhava, the ecstatic symptoms, bhava bhakti, the nama bhasa is clearly nama bhasa. And even, see, what is the definition of Vaishnava? And the definition of Vaishnava is the one who chants Hare Krishna. And he chants Hare Krishna, but not really as a kind of a representation, indirect representation. So then he's not a true Vaishnava, okay? So that is called Vaishnava Abhasa. And also, remember, the first thing, Adau Shraddha, the Navada Bhakti, when we follow, the very first is the Shraddha. So when our Bhakti itself is in a kind of indirect representation, not the original, then our Shraddha is also, our Shraddha means faith, deeply seated in our heart. That is also an abhasa, a reflection of the original or a shadow of the original. So this is, I'm going to be interchangeably using this Pratibimba Sanskrit or reflection, and shadow is the chaya. So we will see in the final theme number 7, there are different kinds of nama abhasa, right? And we will see those interrelationship also. It's a key thing that you must all understand that actually. So here it is this slide. How do we understand the holy name? There are 3 critical elements of this understanding. Okay. On one hand, of course, whenever we talk about indirect, so we should know what is direct then. Okay. The direct is the Shuddha Nama. Shuddha Nama Tattva means without any kind of those 10 offenses, nor there is the indirect representation. So we are talking about the direct one. There is this Shuddha Nama, pure chanting of the holy name, without any kind of offenses. So pure chanting that should be completely devoid of these 10 offenses that we discussed just in the last class. And we heard the recap from Swata Mataji. Okay, and that we covered in lesson 31, chapter 23. Well, that's a general aspect of it. And then we actually went through those detailed explanation of these 10 offenses that just explained in chapter 30, in lesson 32, chapter 24. So today we are going to be discussing, we are going to try to understand this Nama Abhasa, the reflection of the holy name, or it could be shadow also. So there are 3 aspects of it. See, you cannot see the reflection or its shadow unless there is a source of light. If there is total darkness, then you can see nothing, right? So there is a light, and here the light is what? That is light you generally see from the sun, right? But the here sun is itself is this holy name, you know. So holy name is there somewhere nearby, okay, and that projects that a light. Light is illumination, you know. So that is called, Sanskrit name for light is Kanti, okay, the effulgent sun. And the sun itself is this represented in this holy name. The holy name is there, unless it is there in the vicinity, and that sheds the light. You cannot see the reflection or the shade. The second aspect is this chaya, shadow. The son of the holy name cast its shadow, and shadow is directly following the original, you know. And then pratibimba. Pratibimba means its reflection. It's like in a mirror, okay. But the reflection mirror is called mirror image, and you know, mirror image is not exactly the same original. You see, and we are going to be talking at a great length, this mirror image in the Rasa Tattva, which is going to be following immediately after this today's lesson, lesson 34 onwards. So we'll be talking about that, the mirror image. What is left? Mirror image is right. What is right? It's the left. Otherwise, it is same exactly, you know. So that we have to understand. The son of the holy name reflected, that's called Nama Pratibimba. The wise, those who are knowers of the truth, they speak this bhakti, bhava, nama, Vaishnava, Shraddha, all this also would be reflected, that kind of Pratibimba or Chaya of the original representations. So each divided into respective Pratibimba or Chaya. Okay. So this slide is very key slide. It's simple slide, so you can clearly understand these 3 aspects of it. Now we are going to dive into it. and I learned something more details about it. So this is what we are going to understand, what I just tell you about the interrelationship when there's an abhasa. So abhas is also there. First of all, Shraddha, that's the first thing. Then our bhakti itself, Navada Bhakti, and we chant Hare Krishna. So we are Vaishnava, right? But if that itself is just abhasa, then being Vaishnava is also not exactly representation. We are not Shuddha Vaishnava then. Okay? And of course, Nama Abhasa. And then if the true bhakti, Navada Bhakti is not there, the ninefold devotional service beginning with simply hearing, then that itself, with the ecstatic symptoms we get at the advanced stage, we are not going to experience that. Also, that also will be like an abhasa. Okay? So here in this slide that you can see, now on the top, center top, that what you see here, it's a verse quoted by Babaji. It's from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 47th verse. And that is a definition of who is a Prakruta Bhakta. Prakruta means materialistic devotee who is a neophyte. And we understand neophyte is one who worship Lord Shri Krishna, no doubt about it, but he does not respect the devotees, pure devotees of the Lord, and he ignores or neglects them. Okay? So that's why he is a materialistic devotee. So the definition in this verse is here. A prakruta, prakriti comes from prakriti. Prakriti is material world. So he is a materialistic, basically. So that this devotee, neophyte devotee, at the very, very beginning stage, he does not purposefully study the Shastra. Remember, Shraddha means Shraddhavan Shastriyate, So study of scriptures also you must understand, you must have a clear Shraddha, faith, okay? That the Shastra is the representation coming straight from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is not like man-made. Okay, all these Vedas, 4 Vedas, and Veda itself, there are 2 parts, is right. Shruti, that is being heard from our in a disciplined succession, and that being remembered, Smriti. Okay? So 4 Vedas and Upanishads, that is the Shruti, and Smriti is the Puranas. All the 18 Mahapuranas, the 18 Sub-Puranas. And then also Itihas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, okay? All this together constitute the Vedic Shastra, Vedic scriptures. They were compiled by Srila Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva did not invent, did not imagine, he did not create, he simply compiled. And he himself is the partial incarnation of Lord Narayana. So with that kind of understanding, with that kind of Shraddha, you must have in Shastra. Okay? So this Prakruta Bhakta, he does not purposefully study the Shastra. Purposefully means he does not have faith. Okay, and then try to understand. So he is basically a student, okay? A beginner, a neophyte. He is getting into it, and he's trying to understand the actual standard of pure devotional service. I'm purposefully going a little bit detail, but this verse is very, very important. And as a result, consequently, he does not show proper respect to the advanced devotees. He may, however, follow the regulatory principles. He just accepts his spiritual master. He's following his guidance. The spiritual master is teaching him on the basis of Shastra, the Shastric injunctions that he must follow. The Shastric injunctions are twofold: something that must be done and something that must be avoided. Okay? Avoid doing it. So that he must both do's and don't. That must be followed. So those are the regulatory principles that he has learned from his Guru Maharaj. Or it is also possible he might have heard from his family who worship the deity. And this materialistic devotee has to be considered on a material platform. Although he's trying his level best to make advancement, but he's on a sadhana stage. So that is kind of the understanding. So such a person is called Bhakta Praya. Bhakta Praya is Vaishnava Praya. Okay, a neophyte devotee, and his bhakti itself is a bhakti abhasa, for he is little bit enlightened by the Vaishnava philosophy. It's beginning. So that's the reason I wanted you to understand this verse clearly. Okay, its ramifications. So now we will talk about the interrelationship between these 5 aspects of it, right? Shraddha, because that verse, if you look at it, the Sanskrit, there is called Shraddhayate. By Shraddha, that one makes advancement. The Shraddha is lacking. It is there, but in a very, very weak stage. The Shraddha itself is abhasa. Okay, it's pratibimba, its reflection, or its shadow, chaya. So this materialistic devotee, they have a partial faith because he is directly directed only to the Lord, but not to his devotees. So his bhakti is also abhasa, only a partial devotee because of his weaker faith, and so is his devotion, that are materially oriented. It's the reason why he is called Prakrita Bhakta. And clearly then he is obviously not a pure Vaishnava or a little abhasa. It's called Vaishnava Praya. Praya means beginner. Prior, right? We say prior understanding. So prior word comes from that. So he's just a beginning of that. So he's not a pure Vaishnava because he has a very limited understanding, and his external appearance, only external appearance. Of course, he has just taken an initiation, so he's wearing Vaishnava dress. External emblems are there, wearing Vaishnava tilaka and all these things is there. But internally, he's not still a Vaishnava. So he's wearing beads, tilaka, and other things like that. And his nama is also abhasa. A Prakrita Bhakta or a pseudo Vaishnava whose chanting of the holy name is merely a shadow or a reflection. And obviously, he has a long, long way to experience those ecstatic symptoms, So that is also going to be abhasa. So all these 5 kinds of abhasa are interrelated, as I've shown you by these arrows. You see that? So Shraddha is describing this verse. And Shraddha is interrelated with Bhakti, Abhasa, Vaishnava Abhasa, Nama Abhasa, and Bhava Abhasa. So they are going downwards, sideways. That means rank and file we talk about, right? So they are purely interrelated. And then we look at the right thing on the right side of the slide. So this is what the question raised by this Vijay Kumara. Okay, if an impersonalist accepts various outward symptoms, markings of a Vaishnava, external symptoms, not internal, and chants the holy name, of course he's chanting, but his chanting is not pure. Is he then a Vaishnava Abhasa? And that's exactly what we talked about. So Babaji, what he says, not really. And that's surprising, right? After hearing this interrelationship. So here he says that this kind of people who are innocently being a beginner, then it's okay. But he's purposefully doing this thing and he's actually committing aparadhas, then aparadhas are very, very dangerous. That's what I was telling you about. One must guard, one must be very, very vigilant. At least knowingly you don't do that, you know. So that they cannot be even a Vaishnava Abhasa also. Worst kind. So it's a Vaishnava Aparadha offense, and he is a criminal, Vaishnava Aparadhi. So Babaji says, those who take shelter of Pratibimba Nama or Nama Abhasa or Pratibimba Bhava Abhasa may be called Vaishnava Abhasa. Then one on the leftmost part. So Raghunath Das Babaji is further, is going to tell us something about a little bit history. Raghunath Das Goswami, his guru, Babaji, Raghunath Das Babaji, remember he was connected in a guru-disciple relationship with Raghunath Das Babaji. Raghunath Das is one of the 6 Goswamis who lived at Radha Kunda. That's where Raghunath Das Babaji also met him and took his shelter. So his father was such a Praya Vaishnava. And his father and uncle, his father, whose name was Hiranya, and his uncle's name was Govardhan. So they are, these are the actual examples. And it's amazing, their son is such a very, very advanced, one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. And that is because of the Sadhu Sangha. Okay, so this one is going a little bit more advanced. So now we are first going to understand the Shuddha Nama itself, the original, the pure, direct. Okay? And this way is showing the sequence of events taking place like that, in a particular order in which each of these steps takes place. And this is from the verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. I will read it in a moment. So that is the verse that clearly explains the definition of Shuddha Nama, because we are trying to understand what is Shuddha Nama, right? Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. That particular verse, each segment of that verse is being defined here, okay? Anya Abhilashita. So what is Anya Abhilasha? Abhilasha means desire. Okay? No Anya means no any other desire than simply trying to worship the Supreme Lord. Okay? So that's free of all materialistic leaning, materialistic pursuits, okay, materialistic desires, and that must be shunya. Shunya means zero, complete absence. However, if you have some other desire, then what? That is what the focus is on that. Okay, Anya desire means impersonal liberation desire, fruitive activities. These are some of the examples. Or gaining yogic siddhis, perfections, smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest, like that. So that is a problem. And that problem in the Shuddha Sattva is what here the focus is on that. Okay, even though we are talking about pure name, unless we know what are the ramifications of that, if we don't follow that verse, Anya Vilashita Shunyam, it is not really Shunya, it's not really zero, but other things are there. Okay? Undesirable elements are there. Then, so here, the second part of that verse is what? First part, Anya Vilashita Shunyam, that is the Sarupa Lakshana of pure bhakti. Okay. Now we are talking about the other elements of it. Jnana karmadi anavritam. It must be completely uncovered from this mental speculation, impersonal elements. Okay. And the fruit active is karma and adi, etc., etc., etc. Okay. And that must be also completely free. All this impersonal speculation, jnana, and the fruit you work. So when you do have a desire for these fruity activities and you desire to attain impersonal liberation, okay, and why you want to get liberated? Because you're fed up in materialistic life, because of the materialistic life is full of sufferings. Padam padam vipada. So this whole slide talks about that. It makes you aware. If you divert from actual Shuddhanama definition, then because you have to be aware of that. Okay, then what happened? Third segment, Anukulayena Krishnano. Shilanam Bhakti Uchita, right? So that's the third aspect of it. Anukula Bhava. Anukula Bhava means it must be favorable to Krishna. Kamsa was also all the time remembering Krishna, but in great fear. Shishupal was also always remembering Krishna, but always being very, very envious of the Lord. And so are all the demons, right? So this Anukula Yena Bhava, one must be followed. It must be favorable way of understanding and focusing on Lord Shri Krishna, Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So if you have enmity, a dushman, you consider Lord Krishna as the enemy. Kamsa was like that. So was Shishupala. Then clearly it is not favorable to Krishna. Okay. The third, the further element. So Shuddhanama, pure chanting of the holy name, is spiritual holy name, is openly manifested if you follow these restrictions. First and foremost restriction, all other desires must be devoid, completely absent. Other aspect, your bhakti must be favorable to Krishna. Okay, so that must be followed. Then transcendental bliss, bhava, and that how the other element is there, not in this slide, is Anukulayena Krishnanu Shilanam. Shilanam means you follow in the discipline succession of Guru Shishya. That's how you cultivate. You don't cultivate something from vacuum. The Shilanam Bhakti, there is also important element here. Okay. So this Nama Abhasa, Nama Aparadha, it follows in this particular category. Spiritual holy name is openly manifested only if you follow this condition. And if you bifurcate, if you deviate from that, then it is not Shuddhanama. And then going forward, so this Nama Abhasa, Nama Aparadha, what is this understanding? What is the difference between these two? Nam Abhasa and Nam Aparadha. Nam Aparadha is the much more severe element. affecting Shuddha Nama chanting. So what is the difference? So Nama Prada is desire for impersonal liberation and fruity activities. There is no hope for Shuddha Nama chanting if you continue that. Nama Prada is the worst kind. Nam Abhasa is little bit less severe. There's a hope. Nama Prada, if you do, then there's no hope. So Nam Abhasa could be innocent out of bewilderment, Maya's influence. Innocently, you go off the path. Okay, so it's bewilderment either, or simply being foolishness. So there is still some hope. If he meets a sadhu, and then the sadhus will correct him, bring him back on the path. So what he should do in that? To turn to his Nam Abhasa into Shuddha Nama chanting. That is what he should do. Okay, and that must be done by the sadhu sangha. That is the lifeline. I keep telling you repeatedly. Every step of the way you need association of the sadhus, and sadhus make sure you remain on that path. If slight deviation, sadhu will correct you. So that is how Shuddha Nama understanding must be there. So both positive aspect of it and negative aspect of it. So let's take a break, 5-minute break. So I purposefully took quite some time to make you understand. There were simple slides, but you have to understand the depth of these 2-3 slides that we just talked about. Now it's all downhill. final minute. Okay. So one more thing I just told you about the role of these sadhus, advanced saintly personalities in your life. We need them every step of the way. Okay. And I just told you they make sure that you remain staying on the main path. You don't get deviate. Okay. But one could be on the path and still going backward. The sadhus also prevent to make sure that you don't go backward and you remain on the forward path. So this both elements sadhus make sure. Okay, in this slide, themes, theme number 7 now, there are different kinds of namavasa that we must be aware also. Okay, there are 4 kinds. One that is indirect, sanketya namavasa. Sanket means you give some kind of clues, hints. Okay, so there are, if you do like that, if you follow that, some kind of hints, some indication, but not clearly, you are getting some ideas, but you are not clearly getting the full spectrum of this thing. So you still remain indirect on that. Okay. So here that asks me, what does exactly mean this indirect sanketya? By just giving a hint you are getting, you need to think on your feet. No? So it's not yet direct completely. So the example is given of Ajamil. Ajamil, at the moment of death, called for his son named Narayana. Okay, so that's some indication. In fact, that Bhakti Vedanta personalities, the advanced sadhus that he had met earlier, they had a far sight. They knew what's going to happen. That's why they gave a little hint to him, and you name your youngest son as Narayana. They didn't tell him that. They gave just a hint, okay? And he did not realize at the time. Okay? So that is what is called Sanketa. So Ajamil, when the death came, the final moments, and at the time of dying, one suffers a lot, physically and mentally, So then you remember the ones that you are very, very close to during your life. And he was very closely attached to his youngest son, Narayana. Narayana happened to be the name of Lord Narayana. That was the reason, very intelligent, with a far sight. The sadhus had given him, recommended him to name his youngest son as Narayana. So other examples are those mlecchas. Mlecchas are foreigners, foreigner to the Vedic understanding, Vedic civilization, Vedic culture, So those are the definition of mleccha. Mlecchas use indirectly. They don't say Harinama and they say Harama. Haram means scoundrel, rascals, right? So in a very derogatory term, they use the word harama. Harama means like a pig, actually, But harama, it rhymes, sounds similar to Harinama, and still they get benefit. Sounds like Rama. It's like Harama means Rama. Ha Rama. See? Ha Rama, Harama, right? Ha Rama, hey Rama. Rama with Sita Devi's name included in that. That is Rama Deva's potency. So that still brings liberation. So that is called Sanketa. Some future indication is there, but the devotee himself does not realize at that time. Then there is jokingly one says, Parihasya, hey Hare Krishna. What a stupid you must be now. So they say, hey Hare Krishna. So he is criticizing the Vaishnava, okay? Nonetheless, from his tongue, he uttered the name Hare Krishna, and they get benefit. So by joking, they do that, make fun of the Vaishnavas, and that we all experience in our lives, Then kind of outrightly disrespectfully, called Stobha Nama Vilesha, Nama Abhasa. In a clear disrespectful manner, they criticize the Vaishnavas. And sometimes they do it neglectfully, purposefully they neglect Vaishnavas. Now they don't invite me in the parties. They know that I don't, so they don't invite such parties to me. They outcast me in that from their group, which were my old friends, So neglectfully is that ila nama vasa. So even today, jokingly, disrespectfully, neglectfully, they do that when the Yavanas, the blasphemers, or the demons whose very nature is to be offensive, nonetheless utter the holy name even by Nama Abhasa, and they get at the very minimum, they become liberated. So Hari's, Krishna's name, is the sweetest of all sweet things. That's what we call nectar, the most auspicious of auspicious things, the transcendental fruit of all the wines of the Vedic literature. Oh, best of the Bhrigus, chanted even once, either with faith or the content of that faith, it delivers the chanter. This is the words quoted, some kind of very kind of obscure name. This I didn't want to spell out, so I given you a page number of that book. Okay, and sorry for this. This I could not convert into black and white because I lost my original thing in that. Okay, this slide, what benefit Nam Bhavas and Nam Prada do or do not have. And Nam Prada, as I'm keep telling you, is the worst of these two. First, Nam Bhavasam. So that's Bhukti, Mukti, like that, okay? Bhukti means enjoying fruitfully, sense pleasure. Mukti is liberation. And yogic perfection, siddhis I was telling you about, are their benefits. B, Krishna Prema cannot be achieved through this Namavasa. Third, through Sadhu Sangha, however, there is a hope. The sadhus will make sure that you come back on the forward path. So they have a path to become a Madhya, at least at the very minimum, they can become an intermediate devotee. So they are on the forward path. Sadhus make sure that. And then eventually when they come to the intermediate path, they come to the Shuddhanama chanting. So with the Shuddhanama chanting, they can now attain Krishna Prema. So the process is prolonged. Nonetheless, you can still potentially reach the final goal in Namavasa. But now we'll see about the Namaprada. So the question here asking, despite Vaishnava Abhasa or a Vaishnava prior is Nam Abhasa chanting. Why don't they achieve Krishna Prema or the ultimate final goal? There is a hope if he continues remaining in touch of the sadhus. So here the reason is confidential. Well, eligible to become a pure Vaishnava, their path of gradual advancement is stunted. It gets prolonged. Okay? Because so when the process is prolonged, it could be either way. You could come back to the forward path, and you can also get lost. Then you become asata sangha. You leave sadhu sangha and associate with undesirable people or elements. Then you can lose that, right? So that's you need to watch out. There are positive aspects, and there are negative aspects. Like asat sangha means you become attached to this impersonalist here Mayavadi philosophy, and that can pollute your mind, and you'll totally lose your path, and that happens. B, because of their past pious deeds. However, something pious deeds you have done, pious not materialistic piety, okay, spiritual piety, like innocently watching Rath Yatra, something like that. So because of their pious deeds, however, they may turn around their asat sangha into a sat sangha, that is sadhu sangha, and which would eventually open their path to becoming a pure Vaishnava. So there are warning signs there. Nonetheless, there is a reasonable hope that he might get the ultimate goal of Navada Bhakti, and the ultimate goal is Krishna Prema. But look at the Nam Aparadha. Their offenses to the holy name will continue blocking all their potentially available path of elevation to the Suddha Nama. So you see, Nam Aparadha is worst kind. And particularly those three things that I highlighted in red lettering, right? First, you criticize blaspheming the sadhus themselves, who are the constant blood lifeline. Okay. And then among those sadhus, you accept a guru. And if you guru avagna, you don't follow his instructions, that's a no. And final, on the strength of the potency of the holy name, that all sinful actions are reversed. Okay? And on that strength, you keep committing new aparadhas knowingly, then that is called verse 7th offense. So these are the one makes them very, very dangerous. And they may never get the final goal. Okay, so Babaji cited Vivarta, and that we did the whole course on that. So I will not go into great the whole verses of Nama Tattva and Prema Vivarta we did at great length, expressed all that. So I will restrict that. So through Nam Prada, what about the potency of chanting the syllables of the holy name? Nam Prada will not lead to Krishna Prema, as the offender must pay for his offenses. It's a debt. However, over time, his continued chanting the holy name itself, that you commit offenses against that, but you continue chanting it, then holy name will come to your rescue. As a result, his sadhu sangha will put him on the right path, right forward path, to free himself of nama aparadha. So, by chanting the name only at once, the person is freed of all sins. Why then should he chant it always? No. Because even if you chant once, it will help you, right? Greatly. So then the very Nama Prada, why should we be punished for that? That's the question. very intelligent questions, intelligent. So the offenders are naturally averse to the Lord. They are never attracted to the Suddha Sadhu Sangha and holy objects or holy names. On the contrary, they are attracted to the evil theory. That is what the human nature is like that. Human nature is naturally attracted to the worst kind. That's being human is err. We commit mistake. And we are naturally inclined towards negative aspects of it than the positive aspect of it. However, through constant chanting of the holy name, they do come to the sadhu sangha eventually, and eventually the Sudhanama chanting, and eventually realize the final goal. But chances of that are very slim. So since we already did Prema Vivarta, I'm not going greater details. Haribol question. So we have full 30 minutes for discussion. Please take maximum advantage of that and ask questions. I always encourage, even few of you who keep asking the same people, I hope someday the rest of you will feel encouraged and get the strength to ask questions. And you can ask questions only if you have a chance, if you invest time to go through my slides, okay, bother to read. So you need some investment of your time, but that has very rich dividends. At least you keep hearing the questions being asked attentively, you will learn. Haribol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Such a wonderful class session. Really great, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. So we have details on Nama Bhasa, Nama Aparada. Actually, I didn't know till that, Prabhu. Didn't know. Okay. So Nama Aparada is like we are not giving respect to the Acharyas. Okay. Not that great respect. Okay. That is definitely Krishna doesn't like. Nama Bhasa means they're like a small mistakes which we might be doing it. Okay. But there is a hope. So generally, I used to think that why I'm not able to do pure chanting, Prabhu, why I'm not able to hear every word of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So it is because it is all interlinked. Okay, because in our daily life, 24 hours, we do a lot of mistakes. Sometimes we tell lies. We don't behave like Vaishnavas. Okay, it doesn't matter with the non-Vaishnavas as well. And because of that, I could say that like yes, I am not able to do that. Shuddhanam, or I'm not able to hear. Okay, whatever mala I'm doing, I'm not able to hear. That is what I
That's your
could really.
ability. You still have quite advanced stage. It's your humility. But what you just echoed, what I was trying to say very nicely, that's what it is. We still have a fairly long way to go. But the stage at which you are, that itself is quite admirable, and that you surely you must be inspiring a lot of us, and follow and closely follow in association of your path. But one thing I all wanted you to get clearly, the severity of this Nama Prada, the offenses to the holy name, relative to Nam Abhasa. Okay? Nam Abhasa is clearly there is a hope, okay? But Nam Prada, there is a lingering hope is there, but the greater chance of completely losing the path. So that one has to worry about that. At least knowingly you don't do that, consciously you don't do that. Sometimes because of bewilderment, we might have been committing, and something that has already been committed, and if you really truly remorse feel sorry about it, then Lord says that I'll protect you, right? This famous verse, 1931 in the Bhagavad Gita, he says that one who is chanting the worst kind of aparadha he might have been committing, worst kind, he says that, blank check. But if he's doing that, then I will rescue him. I will purify him from within. Krishna himself says that. So, as we say, in bhakti, if you make a start, it never get lost. It might be getting stunted, but you will continue that bhakti. Whatever you've done, that's your spiritual bank. That will remain so, It will protect you from the greatest calamity in your life. At least in the next birth, you do get human birth and continue from that path onwards. Haribo.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare
I have only, Prabhuji, I have one question, Prabhu. The question is, if I have more hankering towards Shuddhanam, so these will reduce, Prabhu. If I have a more hankering, more desire that I should have Shuddhanam in this life itself, okay, so that in my life, regular life, okay, these Nama Bhasa and Nama Pradas will reduce, Prabhu. If I have more desire that I have to do Shuddhanam in this life, and
That
also
comes at the
pray.
It comes at an advanced stage, hankering. You have that stage, that hankering. And so did the Rakshamataji, I also noticed. She has that laulyam to perform some seva. And we have that kind of seva kind of attitude, then clearly you can yourself provide, you can yourself inspire a lot of us. Very good.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Any other questions, points, please? You have plenty of time.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद, प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna, Rakshamataji.
प्रभु जी, मुझे छाया आभास और प्रतिबिंब आभास के बारे में थोड़ा और बताइए, मुझे थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग लगता है। नाम
I'm sorry.
छाया और नाम
Oh,
रिफ्लेक्शन।
acha. Okay. Reflection, pratibimba, and shadow, chaya. See, and when there is a source of light, illumination, then you can see its reflection. Okay, and what you see in the mirror is actually a reflection, right? Something reflect. That's called mirror. Does that? Shining surface is there, and from that you see, but the reflection is not exactly original. It's called mirror image, right? What is left is right, right is left. And the clear difference, if you shine a look, face the page, a book page or something in the mirror, you cannot read it, right? That's the reflection.
उल्टा उल्टा हो जाता है इसका।
That means it's very difficult. You have to train your mind to read it ulta. So that is called pratibimba. The chaya is a shadow of the original. Shadow could be not clear, could be wavy. Now see, in this slide, my slide, I put my background in that kind of sense, that a very kind of a fuzzy background that you see, right? Purposefully I did that. So this is called chaya. So chaya could be like that. It could like a reflection. The 15th chapter in Bhagavad Gita gives a very nice example, right? Urdhva shaka. So these branches, trees, right? If you look at it, it's called pratibimba also. It's also a reflection also. Chaya also is there, and that is kind of perverted. So this material world, everything that what we see here is there in the spiritual world. Exactly. However, that exactly word I need to qualify. You see a perverted image, perverted understanding in the material world. And that we Rasa Tattva, when we talk about that is being discussed right there in this particular way, Pratibimba or Chaya, that prema and lust. Lust is a perverted understanding of prema in the material world. It's a mirror image. Lust is a mirror image of prema. Upside down, perverted, wavy, shadowy. Sometimes you may not get what it is exactly. That's so. This is in Rasa Tattva, we'll talk more about it. The mirror image could be like that. In the mirror, you see yourself. You take a video and see the video image of a car, moving car. Watch the car is moving forward, right? But the video of a car, running car, if you see, the wheels are turning opposite way. It's going forward. The wheels showing backward. So that is completely foreign to the reality. You don't see the reality in that. You see a video image, the mirror image you see can be potentially completely reversed. So that is what this Nama Avasa is like that. Rakshamataji, did I explain to you? Do you understand?
यस प्रभु जी, तो प्रभु जी उसको हम नाम के द्वारा कैसे समझ सकते हैं? मतलब हम जब नाम लेते हैं तो उसका एग्जाम्पल कैसे हम देख सके?
तो जिससे लेके वो एग्जाम्पल दिया ना इसमें, अजामिल का एग्जाम्पल. Ajamil was speaking after his son. In his mind, he was really thinking about his son only. Okay. Nonetheless, that Narayana name itself protected him from going to the Yamaloka for punishment. He avoided that indirectly, not realizing it. So that is what Nama was actually. So that is not clearly intending, but he used the word Narayana. Same as those Harama. They say Harami, right? Harama. It is He Rama. Harama means like that, right? Harami. Completely pole apart meaning is there. But even that also indirectly you are invoking the name of Lord Ramachandra. So these are the examples showing that. So that is what Namabhasa, Pratibimba and Chaya, both are the representation of the original, but in a way quite different. Nonetheless, you don't see a reflection, you don't see a shadow unless the original thing is right there in the vicinity. Otherwise, you don't see it. And there is light, illumination. So illumination, light is sadhu sangha. When you're sadhu, you can clearly see where you're going, how you get deviated. Sadhus illuminate our path of bhakti. They are the source of light. Right?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. So wonderful explanation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chandra. I had the same, I could not get this reflection and this, but is it a name or we think Krishna is the original form? Is it right? When we can, we should.
First of all, I congratulate you. You took courage, strength to speak up, ask question. That's what I really admire. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, everyone, she's my baby sister. My sister. She is now in Chicago, in Michigan. And good question you asked. That's exactly what I was trying to explain to you, Harsha.
Okay. So I got right. I was just confused about it, about the Nama Aparadha, Nama Abhasa and Nama Shadow.
Yeah. So Namabhasa could be including both. It could be either a pratibimba, it could be reflection, or it could be shadow. Both.
Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you very much. I got it. Yesterday,
Thank
when I
you.
was reading the PowerPoints, I was very confused. I couldn't understand anything that way. So now your explanation plus my this question,
Very
I
good.
got that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm very happy. You made me really my day. You made my day asking questions.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranam.
Hare Bol.
Prabhuji,
Anybody
baby
else?
sister means your younger sister, Prabhu. The most younger sister.
The youngest sister. I have one more
Youngest
sister
sister.
also. I have
Oh.
a middle sister also. I have
Oh.
three sisters. Three sisters.
Oh.
The eldest one is in Toronto, Canada, and the intermediate sister who is in Mandavi, Kutch, and the youngest one is just you saw. You didn't see her, but you heard her asking question, and
Great,
she
Prabhu.
had been here for a long time. Just about a year or two back, she migrated to US. Her two daughters are in the US now.
Great, Prabhu.
And
Great,
she
Prabhu.
has been listening to my classes for last 10, 15 years now. I think, I'm pretty sure about 15 years or so. She's the
Great,
only
Prabhu.
one in my family closely following, other than my mom, of course. And my mom is my actual guru.
Great, Prabhu. Really great. Very good.
Thank you.
To both
This
of
is all due to my brother, and that is why I'm here. Whatever, because of his mercy, Krishna's mercy, and his explanation, they did me to join these classes. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. You're very kind. Other questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat pranam.
Very good. Something.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you for the nice class. So that means, Prabhuji, in a sense, you are saying that there is hope for everyone. In the form of Nama Bhasa, also there is hope for the most unfaithful person also. But it is just a matter of time. You can either surrender with the right attitude to the holy name and take a lift and go up, or you just hang around and waste time and take your own time. So it's just your attitude, what attitude you have towards the Lord and His holy name and Sadhu Sangha, right? Can we say
Clearly,
that?
right? Exactly. Very clear. You said it very clearly. This even though Namaprada relatively is the worst kind than Namabhasa. Namabhasa, there's a clear hope is there. Okay, Namaprada is also there is a hope, tiny hope, but there is also a chance that you completely lose all the time. But nevertheless, Bhakti says, Trayate Mahato Bhayat. Once you started any lifetime, it's going to continue, maybe stunted for this lifetime, but down the line, you will still come back. That is the great potency of the holy name. Once you take shelter of the holy name, Supreme Lord, He is going to remember that. He is going to protect you. He is going to lift you up. Okay, so that is what says you have to extend your arms to help being lifted. And that's what He's waiting for. The life after life after life. We hear in scripture, Krishna is actually very patiently waiting for us to turn our face towards Him and raise our arm. And raising our arm exactly means that. This once you chanted, its efficiency will be there. It's just a matter of time, either in this lifetime or multiple lifetimes down the line. But at least that's what says Trayate Mahato Bhayat. That's what it means. That bhakti is there in everyone's heart, whether you realize it or not. It's a dormant, just like walking. A child learns walking not from scratch, because he has done the walking in previous lifetimes. So learning walking is like that. It's already there within him. It is in his DNA. He just needs to let it express. And the parents help him to walk. So like that, this also is like high.
Prabhuji, so how can we do something for our family members whom we are so attached to, because we can see that our family members are into meat eating and alcohol, and it is sometimes unbearable to see them going degrading. So as a Vaishnava, what should be our duty?
Very good question. Again, a very intelligent question. Again, it's another one. See, that what I'm telling you, the family. Actually, nothing in this life is by accident. Everything's pre-planned. When we take birth in a given family, in a particular family, there are both positive aspects and negative aspects, both, There is a reason why we are taken birth in a particular family. Because Shastra says, because of a particular desire from previous life, unfulfilled desire that you're hoping to get fulfilled. So Krishna gives the exact birth. So there is a chance, hope, to try fulfilling your unfulfilled desire from previous lifetime. That's why you get exact physical body, exact genetic structure. To try it, so there's a hope. Problem is that hope might get fulfilled. Okay. But at the same time, you might be creating new desires. But if you are in sadhu sangha, even new desire is to keep making forward progress. But also you can get to asata sangha, and it's a human nature. We are more inclined towards worst kind. Asat sangha and sat sangha. Okay. But some bhakti, if you have done in the past, will protect you. It's just a matter of the time. So there's family structure, family in which you took a birth, that has its repercussions. Okay, positive and negative both. Some people done great service, great bhakti, and then completely reverse themselves. So consequently, they are going to suffer. But because he has done some bhakti previously, he is going to come back. Krishna is going to make sure. And eventually, you will take birth in a good family that will become very that's going to facilitate pick up from what he had achieved before. Okay? So that is taking birth in a family. It means what I just explained to you. So it's not by accident. It is happened. It's particularly happening exactly according to the programming. The bhakti is very powerful. So all of us, that we are here because something great thing we did in the past, somewhere we must have met a sadhu, and we are on this path at this point. But we can get diverted ourselves, and then the process gets just elongated or prolonged.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Any more questions?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, इट मीन्स अगर अपराध हमसे नोइंगली और अननोइंगली भी होते हैं तो हमारा भक्ति का प्रोग्रेस अटक जाता है प्रभु जी.
It's not stopped, it gets stunted.
Stunted मतलब आगे नहीं बढ़ेगा.
It's like
फिर
partial
आफ्टर सम
break.
टाइम जब हाँ प्रभु जी.
Yeah, you are going to pick it up, and the best way to ensure that is keep associating with sadhus, and it is the conscious effort you to make. Asat sangha is very easy. Sat sangha is little difficult. You have to have some willpower, some attraction, and some devotees will help you. Like that we heard about Prabhupada, right? Prabhupada was a born devotee. Yet he was reluctant to meet his future guru. But his friend, I believe his friend's name was Narendra or something like that, persuaded him, because Prabhupada's guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, he had heard so much negative aspects of the so-called sadhus, and there are very many in India. It is there. Okay, so he did not want, worried about that might be Sasat Sangha, and he was reluctant. But his friend Narendra persuaded him, at least what is harm? Just come once and see and judge yourself. And that's how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj met his, Prabhupada. Prabhupada met his future guru Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. Prabhupada was persuaded by one of his friends. I forgot his name actually, friend's name. I think it is Narendra, but I'm not sure.
Yes, Prabhuji, Narendra.
Yeah, thank you. I read it long time back, Prabhupada Lilamrita, you know. So this is what happens. Sometimes a good friend can lead you the right path, but at the same time, a friend can lead you to the bad path also. Come on, let's go to this party. Let's go to the bar. That can happen to the devotee. But in that, a devotee can correct that person who is leading him to the bar. That can happen too. Or that other person can pollute him on the wrong path. Either way, it can happen, depending upon how strong you are on the bhakti path. Hare Krishna. I hope I'm answering.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Yes, and we still about 5 minutes. And I know the attendance is poor because the time. Many of the devotees might have been working, you know. That can happen. I know Saga Prabhu might be working too, you know. That's why at this particular time slot, many of them might not be here. Okay, are there any questions, comments, maybe? If not, I'm going to let's conclude the class by Nashima prayer. Any volunteers for that? Sir, if Saga Prabhu is not there.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Raksha Mataji, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladadayine. Praladadayine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shilatankanakalaye. Ito Narsimha, Parato Narsimha. Ito Narsimha, Parato Narsimha. Yato yato yami tato Narsimha. Yato yato yami tato Narsimha. Vahir Narsimha, Hridaye Narsimha. Vahir Narsimha, Hridaye Narsimha. Narasimhamadim Sharanam Pravate. Tava Kara Kamalavare. Nakha Adbhuta Shringar. Dalita Hiranyakashipu. Tanuvringa. Teshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Ho Narsimhadev. Narsimhadev. नरसिम्हा जय हो नरसिम्हा देव, जय हो प्रहलाद महाराज, प्रहलाद महाराज, प्रहलाद महाराज, जय हो प्रहलाद महाराज, जय जय प्रभुपाद, 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरुदेव, 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 जय जय गुरुदेव। श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा भगवान की जय, भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय हो, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय हो। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। थैंक यू प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Thank you, Lakshmi Mataji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Jai Shri. All glories to Shri Prabhupada, all glories to Srimad Bhagavatam, all glories to the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, all glories to all of you Vaishnavas. Hare Bol. So now,
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
tomorrow we'll start the Rasa Tattva, the final part. Very, very exciting part. Hare Bol. Thank you, Ashna Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Janbai ji. Thank you. Thank you so much.
थैंक यू प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। हरे कृष्णा।
अच्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
Thank you all. Hare Bol. Look forward to see you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna, Dharma Pranam.